The Jay Show.
So here goes nothing. This is the first time we've done this. This is the Jay Show after the show. You know, sometimes because we have a little of a time constraint during the show, we don't get to go into depth about certain topics that we talk about. And sometimes we also have things that happen to pop into our mind that we talked about on the show, but they pop into our mind after the show.
And then Gabe's like, we got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Can't talk about this. Got to go, guys.
Gabe gives me the wrap-up fingers, then it's time to really go into commercials or a song. But that's where this is. This is where we talk about more things that are on our mind that we talked about during the show. Today we talked about three main things. We talked about social media in your relationships because what's the guy's name again?
George.
Poor George thought that his girlfriend was just being really private.
Porgy.
Yeah. Apparently, his girlfriend isn't being really private. She's being really shady. She didn't friend him or anything on social media, didn't tag him. And when we did a sticky situation with her, we found out that she was cheating on him.
Let's be honest, guys. George sounded kind of soft.
Oh, but still, it doesn't. So what are you saying? He deserved it?
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, he just didn't have like a backbone.
Right.
He probably needed to be in a different relationship. Someone that maybe, you know, catered to him a little bit more.
I think it doesn't matter. No matter what, she took advantage of him. That wasn't fair.
Yeah, well, you know,
nice.
George, if you're listening to the podcast, you know, that's Gabe's opinion of you, softy.
Yeah.
But, you know, does his being soft, did that enable her to cheat on him, or is that just
Well,
something
I think
you
shows
noted?
you would say, right, like if a girl is soft, the guy's going to walk all over you, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
so it gives him more of a reason to, Jay, you know, so.
But still, doesn't mean the person
It gives him more of a reason to. It gives him more of a reason to.
It doesn't mean you should.
Well, I mean, it just opens the door, right? Like now you're capable of it.
So
you know you can.
so-
You know you can.
So you think the softer a person is, the more the other person has an inclination to take advantage
Yeah,
of?
I mean, think about a cheater. If a guy's cheating on a girl and she's not asking him like, where were you last night, or you know, asking those good follow-up questions, then the guy's going to be more inclined to cheat.
I would argue, what kind of person are you if you're taking advantage of somebody like that and doing that type of thing in the first
I
place?
actually think it's more about the person's inclination. Like, I think it's like if you're the type of person that has a wandering eye, or maybe you're just not satisfied in your relationship and you're not opposed to cheating, I think that, you know, you're just going to do that anyway. I don't know if being soft or being
Yeah, but that's who they're preying on, though, right?
I don't know. Go ahead.
You got to excuse me, guys. Shelly's doing our show without headphones, so she has no idea how quiet she sounds.
I'm sitting at the mic. I don't understand.
Bro, why are you getting so mad, bro?
Because I'm pissed. I don't remember what I was going to say, but anyway.
Well, we can all agree that his girlfriend was an a-hole, right?
Oh, that's what I was going to say. If you're even right, if you want to do that anyway, then you're probably not super satisfied in your relationship, because if you really like the person, that wouldn't even occur to you to do that.
Yeah.
So it should be maybe then say to the person, look, I want to date other people. I want to do something else. You know, this isn't working for me to be exclusive, whatever. You shouldn't just go cheat on him. Shady. Rude.
Yeah, I guess.
Shady. All right, well, that's what happened with that. We also talked about my encounter at the polls with what I called was shenanigans. I really don't understand that when you go to vote. You know, we all voted in the Illinois primary yesterday. I don't understand why you don't get a real receipt, a record of your vote. Now, I'm not saying that they need to print out on a ticket exactly who you voted for. That's a privacy concern, and I get that. But that little paper thing that
what are you talking about? I saw so many people. We all had the paper things yesterday, right?
But
the little
no,
receipt.
that's not what I'm talking about. Well, no, that is what I'm talking about. That little thing that they call a receipt is nothing but a sticky note that they get off a bunch of pre-printed pads.
Right.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really indicate to me.
But why are you so mad? Like, what is
I
it?
know.
What is it exactly? No, I do want to know.
Mm-hmm.
So you just
Yeah.
want record of who you voted for?
I want record that my specific vote was tabulated. I wanted to say Jamar voted at such and such a time at such and such a polling place and voted in these races, like in president. I wanted, you know, whatever my votes were for. They don't have to say who I voted for.
Sure.
But I want a visual recognition, a record that my specific votes were counted. Just taking my ballot and then tearing off some pre-printed thing that's saying, "Hey, America,
the
I
best would have
voted."
been because you said that you let hell loose at the polling
Oh my
place
gosh!
yesterday.
I literally looked at the person. I said, "Well, where's my receipt?" And he tears off the little sticky pad, gives it to me. I'm like, "That's not a receipt."
Right.
Could you imagine if the guy was like, "Well, here," and turns it over and writes, "Jamar McNeil."
No, there's no
was
way.
at the polling
I
place.
don't
Here's your
accept that.
receipt."
I don't accept that, and I accept the race and how everything turned out yesterday for Illinois. I completely accept it. But what would make me feel a little better?
Yeah.
Would be if there was some kind of, I mean, listen, when I go to Walmart and buy condoms, no matter how embarrassing it is, it says Durex XXX size condoms for, you know what I'm saying?
Whoa, Shells.
Okay,
You know what will make, I'll change the
tonight.
subject quickly. You know what will make Jay happy, though? And I think this is actually a good compromise here. Because let's say, for example, you voted for, I don't want to say a specific candidate, but if you voted for that individual, it'd be cool if they gave you something that said, you were vote 27,873
Oh, wow.
for that candidate.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because now you have a marker, a placement, where if he got 500,000 votes, you were vote. You know, like I said, 50
Chicago
something.
wouldn't be into that. That's too accurate.
No,
That's
too much of a thing, right?
that wouldn't fly.
That's
here.
funny, and I think a lot of the truth gets lost in the sauce, if that's the wrong analogy. But I think the inaccuracies and the generality of it is what keeps things really in order, and I don't like that.
You know what's funny? Yesterday, guys, for the presidential race, I actually did a write-in ballot.
Oh, really?
I put my own name on there.
Do you really think you were counted?
I wanted it to just say one, like on NBC, like at 10
Jay
o'clock
would
at
have
night.
so much
It'll be like,
anxiety.
look at his face. It'll be like
Jay
Bernie
would.
Sanders,
No,
Hillary Clinton,
I think
Gabe Ramirez,
you wrote your name
0.01.
in?
Yeah,
Gabe wrote his name. He's saying he wrote his name.
I wrote my
Oh,
name
so
in.
you're saying that would make you feel better to be able to
You know,
be identified.
I just think so. I just think in a world, I think in a world in a time 2016 where they can keep record of every single phone call I make by the second on a phone bill. What is so hard about giving me an exact record of voting results? I don't
I
understand.
feel like every year it comes out, or whenever there's voting, that something went wrong. This amount of
Yeah.
ballots. Oh my gosh, this wasn't working. So there's something still. There's things about the system.
That did seem archaic yesterday, didn't it, Jay? You're sitting there with a
Yeah.
marker and a blank piece of paper and
It
just tell you the
did.
color.
You would think that nowadays, right? You could just do it on a computer or something.
I would think nowadays I could do it on my cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Attach my social security number to my cell phone. I opt in. I vote from my phone, and it goes through.
Yeah.
I even have a problem with the fact that they're doing primaries in like a rolling fashion where you can look at what other states are voting and go, oh, this person's not going to win, so I'm not going to. It should be done all at one time.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that the rolling process influences people on who to vote for because such and such a candidate's not getting a lot of votes, so he or she is not going to win it, or that's very unfair to certain people.
And, yesterday too, I didn't understand why. I thought to myself,
Yeah.
I said, why didn't more Democrats or Republican go into the primary voting for the opposition? Like I walked in, let's just say I was like Democrat.
Okay.
But maybe I should have said Republican.
Yeah.
And then maybe voted for someone like Rubio if I didn't want Trump to win. And I didn't understand why more people didn't do that. Do you have to vote the same way come November?
You know what? I think that
It's like once you register as a Republican, I can't change my mind.
I think at the root of that is that you really can't predict what people are going to do when they go into the polls. So there's no the only way that works is if a whole lot of people do exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
And if you do that, if the races are as tight as they were yesterday, which they were, I mean, look at Bernie and Hillary. We're talking about percentages.
Yeah.
Where, if it goes down to a couple votes, you trying to throw off the curve.
I see what you're saying. Just so
make-
that, right, and
yeah.
your candidate's not going to get in.
Yeah.
because that's a great point.
Yeah, so it doesn't do good for the numbers. The best way to vote is just vote for who you think should win, and hopefully a lot of people agree with you.
Yeah.
Who's the boss in relationships? We talked about that today too, because in The Bachelor, it seems like the boss is definitely not Ben, which a lot of people think men are the boss, but it's not usually the case. A lot of times the woman's the boss. Lauren seems like she's more bossy?
See, I thought when I was watching the show, I was like, these guys are so cute. They seem like the perfect fit. Like everything's just going to be gravy. And then we saw them afterwards on Jimmy Kimmel, and he was super, super laid back. And Lauren was the one who was all, you better not be saying it.
Yeah.
Don't say anything bad about it. Don't be saying that. You're a loud breather. Don't pray too loud. Just getting all up in his face. And I felt bad for him. And then that's when I was like, whoa, this dynamic's very different.
In an ideal relationship, Shelly,
Yes.
what would you like the percentage to be?
I think, see, it's tough because I feel like there's certain people in the relationships who are better at making certain decisions, and then other people might be better at other decisions. So then the person who's better at
Jay, she's avoiding.
have to make those decisions.
Interesting.
And then the other so for example, maybe finances, maybe somebody is a more experienced traveler, knows fun places to go, so that person should make those decisions. That you should sort of succumb to
Whoever's the best in that arena.
Yeah.
But I think there's an overall picture. If you take a pie and look at the slices, I think overall, even if I'm better at groceries and she's better at education with the kids, there becomes a pie where they're better at 80% of the relationship. I'm better at 20. I think that determines who the boss is. Now I ask you, are you a boss of relationship? Do you aspire to be the boss, or do you think that you're more of a willing participant?
And mind you, we know the answer to this question.
What would you say the answer is? Out of curiosity.
Boss, of course. So,
Let's take it for a
Fun,
let's take it for a
yeah.
test drive. Shelly, you don't have a headphone, so you don't know how quiet you sound on this podcast.
I don't know what's going on. Am I not sitting as close to this as you are?
whoa,
Just tell
Shelly's a
me.
low talker. Whoa.
Tell me.
See what happens when Jay tries to be the boss of your microphone talking? You weren't having it at all.
No.
I'm just trying to help out.
No, what, is this better?
I'm just trying to engineer the podcast.
Well, listen, I think
Is this better?
I think Jay and I would agree that to have a successful relationship, the woman should be a boss a little more of the time. Don't you think, Jay?
As
you
a,
guys like that. You like that.
as
don't
a
you?
as a self-proclaimed boss, I'm not going to really agree with that.
Well, because you said during the show, you in your last relationship, you were the boss 70% of the time.
Yes.
But do you feel like that will remain? That's going to remain constant for the rest of your relationships?
I can't really say for sure. I could say that I've never been in a situation where I wasn't the boss. So,
Really?
Yeah, so I don't even know what
The
it's
majority
like.
of the time.
Yeah, majority of
Because
the
I'm
time.
not saying in spurts.
No,
I
no.
mean majority of the time.
I've never been in a relationship where I've been the boss the majority of the time. No, where I have been not the boss the majority of the time. So I don't know what it means to kind of let somebody run the show. I'll be honest with that. I really don't. And I'm not opposed to it. I've just never really, got into a relationship like that. So I'd be
Jay's
interested.
like a Christian Grey.
Whoa, sign this document, please.
Sign this contract.
Is that what it is? All right, listen, man. It's great to hear your thoughts and everything. That's Showbiz Shelley's mic clipping and static
She's
right
smacking it around.
I just repeat. I don't know.
Whoa.
Just saying.
Get me a new mic. I'm bossing you around.
Jeez. All right. Well, listen, we'd love to hear your thoughts and everything. You could hit us up on all social media platforms at J Show Chicago, just the letter J Show Chicago. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, also YouTube, where this will live. All right.
The Jay Show.